Hi friends, welcome back. So Trump is having a freak out today and it's freaking out the markets. Basically, he's saying, hey, I want to put tariffs on China at 10%, Mexico at 25%, and Canada at another 25%. So that's the latest. But by the time I get this video up, who knows? Maybe Trump changed his mind. He's like 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. Who knows? Or he's drinking a 40. I don't know. But at the moment, he wants to increase tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada. The basic gist of it, he wants to close the borders and he's blaming China, Mexico, and Canada for sending too many people, too many drugs, and basically blaming them. And essentially, from his supporters' point of view, they'll be like, yeah, Mr. President, you show China, Canada, and Mexico. You show them who's the boss. The thing is, though, when we talk about this stuff, when we say tariff, it's not like China's going to pay for it. In fact, you, the Trump supporter, you, the American consumer, is going to pay for it. How this stuff works. When you put a tariff on the American company who's bringing in these goods, they pay the tax. If they want to keep their margins, which chances are they do, they're going to pass the tax slash fee slash tariff on to you. What that means is that China, Mexico, and Canada are the three biggest trading partners to the USA. You get a lot of goods from these places, right? Be it food, be it fuel, be it all that stuff at Walmart. That's going to go up in cost. And Trump's basically saying, on January 20th, when I first get into office, I'm going to do this stuff right away. That's key. And that's what we're looking at is a guy freaking out, and it freaks out the markets. The problem is that when every time Trump tweets out something, should we take it seriously or not? I mean, and that's a big problem during his presidency. And I remember when he first took office back in 2016, like everything was like, oh my God, can you believe he said thing? And we would kind of like react to it for the first, I don't know, month or two. Then after a while, you just start to ignore it. So I don't know if that's going to be the same situation going forward. But for this kind of stuff, I would say, his early actions in office, he if he's saying tariffs, maybe he's going to do it, right? He was threatening 60% tariffs on China before, and now it's gone down to 20. But this 25% stuff on Mexico and Canada, that's new. This is sort of what's making the markets unstable. Markets generally want some certainty. They want to know what's going to happen go forward. Are you doing the tariffs? Are you not doing the tariffs? And then whenever Trump enacts some sort of policy, then the other countries may respond with a trade war slash tariffs of their own. So be careful out there. And there's that. The problem lately, too, and you got to go over this stuff. Trump's basically a gangster, and the people around him are gangsters. Trump is a felon. He's got a bunch of criminal type people around him. And one of the things that's going on is they're trying to slow walk FBI background checks for him and his people. And so what this is doing is causing a lot of chaos in a bad way. Normally in a transition period, the Biden people will start handing over the keys, right? All the departments, etc. The issue right now is like if the Trump's people don't have FBI background checks, the agencies, who current people are in power in office right now, can't really hand over stuff to the Trump people because they haven't been vetted. There's no background checks, and so there's a big slowdowns on granting access to various files and these kind of things, be it passwords, computer systems, all this stuff. It's a massive problem. Trump's plan is to delay the FBI background checks as long as possible until essentially they control the FBI, and then just, I guess, not do any checks on any of the people. So then we won't know who's clean on Trump's side and who's not. I can tell you for sure, though, or not for sure, but very high certainty, that's a better way to say it. One of Trump's people, his name is Boris. Yes, it really is Boris. And he was essentially trying to get money from people who want to be cabinet members. This is actually a reported story from Trump's own legal team. They did an internal audit of their own lawyers. So Trump's lawyers were essentially investigating Trump's own lawyers and found maybe a dirty one. At least one. I'm sure there's more. I wouldn't be shocked because these are the kind of people who work with Trump. But basically the guy's like, okay, if you want to be a member of Trump's cabinet, give me money. And evidently he was asking Scott Bessent $30,000 a month when they first met. Now Bessent is Trump's treasury pick, and basically saying, hey, if you really want to be the treasury person, give me 30 grand a month and I'll kind of, whisper a little ear in Trump's an ear. Did I say ear in Trump's ear? But it's just like, it's ridiculous, right? And then Bessent actually declined the $30,000 a month to the Boris dude. And then Boris is like, well, I got this 3-on-3 basketball league. if you donate, like $10 million to my league, maybe I can get a good a word for you for Trump, and you can become treasury. And the guy declined, and then he went to the Trump's lawyer team, like, yo, I think you got a dirty lawyer there. And that's not the only thing that happened. And then I guess they had some sort of confrontation at the Mars-Lago, and word got out that this guy is bad. It kept going on. This guy Boris then asked a defense contractor some crazy number like $100,000 a month, and if you pay him, so for some consulting fees, he'll help you get more contracts with the Trump people, etc. The contractor then went to the Trump lawyer team and is like, "Yo, this is dirty," and there's that. So the guy Boris denies all this stuff. We'll see how given the benefit of the doubt, but I'll just say there's too many details and there's going to be too many witnesses. And I'll just be frank, I don't think Besant, right, the coming in Treasury pick would have any reason to lie about this stuff. But in the Trump world, who knows? Maybe they're all setting up each other. I don't know. One thing I will say, though, is that there's a new Trump movie out called The Apprentice. I mentioned it before on the channel. And if you haven't seen it, just go see it. Especially for those of you who don't know that much about how Trump operates and how essentially he runs gangster type criminal organizations. And it's sad to say, this is the president of the United States coming into office. The guy's a felon, and he's surrounding himself with these kind of people. The other thing that's going on is Kennedy, Trump's RFK dude. Now he's got sexual allegations going on against him. I have no idea, if these are true or not. I don't know. I'll just say this: not everyone on Trump's team has this sort of weird allegation things yet that we know of. He just seems to keep picking people who are kind of that way. So maybe half of them are going to be like that and half of them are going to be clean. I don't know. The problem is that the FBI is not vetting them because, again, Trump's trying to slow walk this thing. So who knows? Maybe that's why they don't want FBI to vet their people, because then they'll discover all kinds of problems with these people. You remember Trump's education person is the professional wrestling CEO. That's McMahon. She was married to the Vince McMahon guy. They had all sorts of really bad, really, really bad stuff. And I don't make any jokes about this. I don't want to make any jokes about this stuff, but the WWF stuff, it's bad. Really bad. The other issue as well is now Jack Smith, who is like the special prosecutor, prosecuting Trump for the January 6th stuff, the documents case thing. Charges dropped on Trump. Basically, when Trump takes office, he'll be a sitting president and he's untouchable. That's our current laws in the USA. The Trump Supreme Court passed that, basically saying, a president who is doing, quote, official president duty, you can't touch him, essentially. Now, whether or not, when Trump gets out of office, then he'll be, liable, be it, criminal or civil, we'll see. My personal opinion on this stuff is I don't think anyone is, or I'll say should be. I don't think anyone should be above the law. The current situation we have in the USA is that, yeah, executive office with Trump, he kind of is above the law at the moment. I think theoretically he could do anything and get away with it. Probably what's going to happen, though, and then this is my opinion on this stuff, is you may be able to get some of Trump's people because they're not going to be necessarily protected, although theoretically Trump could pardon whoever. I'm saying theoretically this stuff could happen. And then, he'll just go on about his criminal ways. Trump could, however, leave office, do the 4 years, leave office, and then face all sorts of penalties for his actions. We have a lot of problems going forward with this guy. I understand that many politicians are corrupt, but not to this degree, not to this level, and not this public. There was a lot of stuff reported in Trump's first time around, but this time around seems even worse than the first time. I think Trump's out for revenge. He's picking a lot of basically unqualified people, vengeful people. He tried to get the Gates guy in, and even crazy enough, the Boris guy, again, who's asking the Besant guy for $30,000 a month for try to get him a cabinet spot, and he asked another contractor for money a month consulting fees. Gates was recommended by Boris, so I wonder if Gates paid Boris to essentially get to be the top of the list. You just don't know. I don't know. The problem with this stuff again is Trump is kind of immune to any sort of persecution, I guess you could call that, or persecution and prosecution. And it's a sad state of the affairs that we have in the USA. I just told you guys about recently in just the last video, the guy who spent $6 million on that art banana thing. He gave I think it's $20 or $30 million to Trump's Cryptocoin Scam. There's going to be so much money going in and out of the White House. Someone in the community recently wrote that we should change the name of the White House to the Home or the White House Shopping Network, not the Home, but yeah, it's Trump's home, but the White House Shopping Network. I just think this is going to be the most corrupt administration in history. And why do we have to talk about this? Is because it does affect markets. Trump can make any sort of crazy trade deals or trade tariffs or trade wars. He can make enemies from our friends. He'll make our enemies into our friends. Maybe not a good thing. I don't think so. I don't necessarily want to be friends with Kim Jong Un or Putin, but I understand if you're a Trump supporter, you're like, oh yeah, let's make friends with Putin. Good idea, and it's a really big problem. I wish I had better news for you guys, but that's what's up in the Trump world. It's going to be chaos, and our best hope at this stage is just that the people around Trump will try to keep him in line. But it appears that he's going to keep going crazier and crazier, and his essentially his biggest, I don't know how you want to say it, we'll say partner, I don't know if support is the right word, is Musk. But I think essentially they both want to be number one. No one wants to be number two. And in that kind of situation, I think they're going to both end up being number two. So I'll let you know. And anything updates on this, please let me know. Also, to your thoughts on this stuff. Please be careful out there, and I'll catch you in the next video.